Anyways,
Hey, that's where some of our most fun shows come from.
there you go. Ladies and gentlemen, joining me on the line as he does every week, it is Mike Reyes from Cinemablend.com and the robot empire that he represents.
You ever think about a Twitter?
Oh, God, that's so funny. For those of you playing along at home, we were talking about Team America before this and the whole scene. And yeah, God, that's a good movie. That vomiting scene is probably one of the best vomiting scenes in any movie ever.
Just the fact that they got away with what they did in that movie with puppets, with marionettes,
Yes.
was one of the most beautiful things.
Oh, that's wonderful. And I apologize for the horrible cough there. I'm kind of fighting something. We were also talking about that off air where it's one of those colds where 75% of the day you're fine. And then you got like 25% of the day where you just feel like crap or you're coughing or whatever. It's yeah. Kids are awesome.
Oh, yeah. Little germ factories at times.
Pretty much. So on this edition of the show, as we make our way into another fine, fun-filled fest into the world of entertainment and movies. Oh, I just thought of something else we could talk about real quick during this. I got to write it down.
Yeah, let's go for it.
I could add it in. So we're going to be doing some time traveling. There's a couple movies that Mike has not seen yet that we'd like to talk about. Apparently, we live in a world that needed more Mean Girls. Beekeepers coming out. These are two movies we haven't seen yet. We'll get to it, right?
Yeah.
One of the movies that you have seen this week, and we'll dive right into it, is the Book of Clarence. What's this about?
So it's basically a James Samuel's biblical epic where we're following a street hustler named Clarence, played by Lakeith Stanfield, in the time of Jesus, and he sees the notice that Jesus is getting for performing his miracles. He decides to start being a copycat in order to sort of swindle people out of their money, and then slowly over time he sort of becomes a better person and goes through your typical epic of faith.
Okay, so I was looking it up, and I was like, is this a comedy? Do I make a joke? Biblical comedy drama film.
It is. It definitely has comedy. It definitely has comedy aspects to it. It's not just like it does get pretty serious towards the end, but it does definitely have its share of comedy and chariot races and a lot of fun stuff.
I don't know, I would probably get in trouble if I started talking about it, but I had some great idea for some short films relating to the Bible.
Oh boy.
I'm not near famous enough to make it work. Like some people put this stuff out. It's like not everybody can put out a Team America and make it work, but the guys from South Park could. It's same thing with me and my I don't even know if I should say it.
So maybe we'll just move. You'll tell me off air, and we'll move along.
Okay. What? Because it kind of
want to hear this, but
it kind of falls under the whole thing of like Mel Brooks and the History of the World.
Yeah.
It kind of in that humor, but like, remember when Jesus is walking on the water?
Yeah.
What if it was really slick?
Well, that's not that bad.
Like Jesus is sliding around.
Jesus introduces like a new. Jesus introduces like a new dance craze by accident.
But it's like people see him and they're like, "What's wrong with you?" And he's like, "You think this is easy?" But it's super, super slick.
Water's not supposed to move like this.
Well, if it's so easy, how about you come out here and do it? That's when the guy falls in the water and he pulls him up.
Yeah, teach a man to fish, he'll eat for the rest of his life. Teach a man to walk on water, he'll shut the up.
But you just have all these stories, like just odd occurrences, like in the Bible. Like one was David and Goliath. Once David slays Goliath, later it was like, yeah, but then Goliath like falls and lands on like somebody and they're like underneath, like their legs kicking. And then it's like, well, what the hell do we do with this giant's body? It just, I'm telling you, they're not great ideas or whatever, but I think they'd be funny.
I like them though.
When Jesus starts doing okay, now that I'm saying them out loud, they're not as bad as what I kind of thought, but
yeah.
But like the wine in the water where people start like making requests. Well, can you do a margarita? I don't really like red wine, Jesus. Can you do me a nice white?
It gives me a headache.
Red wine is not supposed to be chilled. And Jesus is just like, gee.
Look, you're serving red wine with fish? Jesus. Jesus, buddy. Come on.
I don't know. I just thought it would be funny.
No, I think it would be too. Like, did you watch History of the World Part 2?
Yeah, we did.
That was good stuff.
Most of it was. I off top of my head, it was, when was that? That was like last fall or summer?
I think it was last summer, yeah.
I mean, it's been a while since, whenever it came out is when we watched it, so I don't remember everything about it, but, I just for some reason, I was thinking about this the other night. Jesus walking on the water, but it's super slick. He's like falling down and doing the thing like when you're walking across an icy driveway.
I love this. I love this so much.
Well, why'd you walk out all the way out here? Because it looked like you guys were in trouble.
Also, it's not as impressive if you just take 2 steps and go, you got to really wow the crowd, man. Have you ever heard of showmanship?
I'm walking on water. That's not good enough for you? Well, you don't look like you're really walking real well. Okay. Anyways, all right. So the Book of Clarence is pretty good, huh?
Yeah.
All right.
The movie literally wastes no time and opens with a huge blast of sound and vision. And I definitely would recommend going to see it in a theater if you can, because I went and screened it. I literally screened this at Sony's own screening room in the city.
Oh, cool.
Because sometimes, you'll get the invite to screen these movies, and it's like, oh, well, we want you to come to our personal screening room to do it. And it's like, Sony has a cool one, Paramount has a cool one, Universal has a cool one.
Neat.
So yeah, so that when you're seeing it there, it's tweaked to prestige conditions, and you're in good hands. And this was definitely something cinematic.
Mike Reyes from Cinemablend.com on the line with me right now as we make our way through. We'll get to the Mean Girls and Beekeeper reviews here at the end of this. No, the one I thought of that I could bring up. Well, 2, we watched the Pain Hustle or whatever that movie is. And you were right. Yeah. It was only okay. But the better movie we watched the better presentation that I watched, Dave Chappelle, The Dreamer.
Oh yeah, that did happen
on Netflix. And you're not a huge Dave Chappelle fan, right?
Not particularly, no. I mean, I used to watch Chappelle's show every now and then, recent things happen, and it was kind of like, I'm gonna take a break here. Maybe I'll come back. Maybe.
No, I thoroughly enjoyed it. I enjoy his style of storytelling. I enjoy how he interacts with a crowd.
Yeah.
He's probably one of my favorite stand-up comedians.
Just kind of neither here nor there about it, really. And that was even before the remarks came up. It's like he disappeared for a while. I know Chappelle's Show season 3 was partially finished because I think he had a breakdown and went took a trip. I think he took a trip to Africa and just stopped making it. And I mean, obviously this is stuff that I'd have to look back into because it was so long ago, but I remember Dave Chappelle, sort of had his day, he's steaming the Nutty Professor with Eddie Murphy, and then Half Baked, and
he was in You've Got Mail with Tom Hanks, and he was wonderful.
Yeah, he played a rom-com best friend.
He was awesome in that movie. But anyways, I enjoyed it. I think it's cool. Mike Reyes from Cinemablend.com joining me on the line to talk about movies and entertainment and everything in between. Also, kind of on the docket this week, The Sopranos has a pretty big anniversary.
Yeah, this year The Sopranos turns 25, and in fact, the day that we're recording this, Wednesday the 10th, there is a one-day sandwich called the Gabagool that is available in New York and LA for people that people can get it delivered to them through Postmates. I'm mad that I'm in Jersey and they won't deliver it to Jersey. It's where does The Sopranos take place? Where do we get most of the action? New Jersey. Why aren't we getting the sandwich? And then there's even a pop-up restaurant experience that's going to be going for a month. And it's oh yeah, you can try Carmela Ziti and all this other stuff. And it's cool. Where does The Sopranos take place? Why aren't you doing something here? I've seen you film in Asbury Park. I just passed the episode where they filmed at my college for 3 different New Hampshire colleges.
Oh, that's awesome.
What the hell?
I don't know,
anyway,
man.
Yeah.
I just Sopranos. I never got into Sopranos.
Oh, the day that we're talking, actually. Today was the first episode aired, January 10th, 1999.
Like, I remember it being a big thing and stuff, but it was just never my thing.
Well, the thing was, I didn't really get to watch it because we were on and off with our HBO subscription, and also it was like Sunday nights at a certain time, and like I was either watching something else or this was early high school when this started, so I never really got into it when it was on. I saw things here and there, but I never really dug in at that point.
Yeah, it was just one of those the shows that I knew about it. I had friends that watched it and stuff. I just never got into it. I don't know why, but
yeah, like my dad watched it religiously. I think my dad and my uncle might have watched it, and it was just like, I'll probably get to it at some point, and you get to I've seen a couple other episodes because of other friends.
Yeah,
because I think it was a couple of years ago, we went and visited some friends out in Pennsylvania, and they were in the middle of like episode 3. They were season 3. They were just watching it for the first time, so we were watching along with them some of the episodes, and it's like, yeah, this is definitely good stuff. And then of course, Sopranos is where some of the key talent from Mad Men were sort of building their names up. Like I believe Matthew Weiner, the series creator, was on working on The Sopranos for a while. But yeah, today as we speak, 25 years ago tonight at I want to say 9 or 10 p.m., Tony Soprano had his first panic attack.
And a whole new world was created.
A new world that wouldn't get answers to the series finale until almost 20 years later, because they finally, in the movie that came out, The Many Saints of Newark, they finally answered that age-old question.
Did they?
Pretty much.
What happened?
All right, so spoilers for anybody who somehow escaped The Sopranos without knowing about the ending. So the big question for the last episode of The Sopranos was, did Tony get whacked or not?
Yeah.
Originally, if I remember correctly, there was a scene filmed where one of his mob buddies was visiting his grave in the beginning, and they cut it.
Oh.
But at the end of Many Saints in Newark, you see him reaching out to like the corpse in the casket, and I saw that as a sign where it's like, yeah, that's basically confirming, yeah, Tony's done. Tony's dead.
I just remember on the morning show when it happened, my partner Moose was really into that show, and when it came around at the end, what happened? Oh, he was mad. Oh, he was pissed.
I loved hearing all of that. I loved hearing all that when it was happening in real time, where all these people were just like, no, how do you end a show like that? What the hell?
That's really funny. Mike Reyes from Cinemablend.com. So congratulations to The Sopranos. Mike Reyes from Cinemablend.com on the line with me right now. Over in the world of just weirdness, the Golden Globes happened this past weekend, and there are a couple interesting stories out of it, between winners, between the host not doing so well. But push all that off to the side. I want to talk about what it would be like to sit at a dinner table with Jared Leto and Nicolas Cage.
I'd do it, but there's obviously one half of that conversation I'm going to be more invested in, and one person I'm going to be talking to more.
Can you, so in the background, like you see, all the people sitting around and, like some of the shows were, together, like the people from The Bear were all sitting together, and Succession. Those were the two big winners, it seemed like, The Bear and Succession. I have not seen Succession. I've watched The Bear, and that's a very, very good show. I did want, what's his name from The Last of Us to win, just so we could hear him talk and to see what was wrong with his arm. Pedro Pascal.
He apparently fell at his family's house over the holidays.
Oh, really?
And then I think he was going in for surgery, and Last of Us is supposed to be filming in next month. They're supposed to be starting season 2.
Boy. That's brutal. But no, in the background, you keep seeing a table, and one real quick, I got to give a nod to Jared Leto. I'm not crazy about the dude. I don't like his band. I don't really like a lot of the stuff he's been in, but he was up presenting, and he did a fabulous job of making fun of himself. And the whole acting, the way he acts, doing the method acting stuff.
Yeah.
It was funny. It really was. I got a giggle out of it. But at one point during it, my wife's watching it, and I just kind of, keep coming in and out. And I look up and I see in the background Nicolas Cage and Jared Leto sitting together at a table talking. And I'm like, what is that conversation like? What is going on here? You know?
Yeah. Yeah, like that's something that like it's 20 years from now someone's like this is a movie about what may have been said at that conversation. We don't know what happened, but here's what could have happened.
And they sat together. I don't know if they like rotate around, you know, but it seemed like
Some do.
they were there together for a while, and it was either really normal conversation about something really boring, or it was like the weirdest conversation you've ever heard. It's not middle of the road, you know?
Maybe they were getting ready to knife fight each other. Who knows?
I don't know, but Jared Leto was wearing gloves, which is that his thing?
I don't know what his thing is anymore. I'm still not very pleased he's in the new Tron movie. But then again, I'm still not very pleased that they're not using the original idea they had for the new Tron movie.
Mike Reyes from Cinemablend.com on the line with me. That was just kind of my take on the Golden Globes. I don't really care. It's not. My wife was watching it, and I just kind of kept coming in the room. Is kind of where I was at. So
yeah, the Golden Globes. It's one of those things where it's just like, I'm surprised it's still allowed to continue after all of the scandals and losing NBC. They weren't televised the one year. Now CBS is doing it for some reason. Like, I'm just really surprised that somehow this has bounced back, and this is something that we're still looking at as like some sort of indicator of the season, when really it's just kind of like, we know what your game is. They introduced a whole award this year for cinematic and box office. They did the popular Oscar award. Remember a couple of years ago where it's like the Oscars are like, we're going to do like the popular movie award to honor like, you know, high grossing, big spectacular movies. Golden Globes did it.
they also didn't they do like a stand-up comedy award?
They might. I think they did. Yeah. It's like best performance in stand-up comedy or television, which ironically went to former Golden Globes host Ricky Gervais.
Which he was not there, shockingly enough.
Well, no. Like I wonder if he's their fallback, where it's like they're trying to diversify, they're trying to do different things, but it's like if they need to really shut up and play the hits, they'll fall back on Ricky Gervais to come back, and it's like, oh yeah, you didn't think I was going to come back, did you?
Yeah.
Guess he's back.
Wrap it
but
up.
Other than that, go on.
Oh no, I thought we were done there.
Oh no, we're not. But because I'm going to talk because I care about some things.
Okay, care about something.
What I think is really interesting is we might be seeing an Oppenheimer Poor Things Oscar standoff in Best Picture, because Poor Thing, I was kind of surprised, but kind of not. Poor Things ended up winning the Best Picture music or comedy. And yes, before anybody asks, Barbie was nominated, but surprisingly, Barbie, I think, only went home with 2 awards. Like, they got Best Original Song, and then they got the cinematic and box office achievement. You made the most money this year. Here's your trophy award.
Yeah.
So, but Oppenheimer obviously had a huge night, and then Poor Things had a pretty good night. So that may be the 2 to watch when it comes to the whole Best Picture thing. Although I think it is also awesome that Lily Gladstone won Best Female in a Drama for Killers of the Flower Moon. And also Paul Giamatti got Best Actor, Musical or Comedy. And Divine Joy Randolph got Best Supporting Actress, Musical or Comedy in, any motion picture for The Holdovers, which my wife and I finally watched.
Yeah, did you like it?
Oh, it's good.
Okay.
It's really good, and the fun thing about it is they go out of their way to make it look like this was shot in the 70s, that this is like a lost film from the 70s, that you would – it almost is one of those movies you don't see made that often anymore. And, like, they came up with fake studio logos, and, like, you have the grain and everything on the picture. But it's good, and look, if Cillian Murphy's going to lose to anyone in Best Actor, I think it's going to be Paul Giamatti.
I'm fine with that. He's great.
I am too, because I love Paul Giamatti. And then you got the pictures of, okay, so 2 cool things that came out after that. Paul Giamatti apparently went to In-N-Out Burger to celebrate his win, which that seems to be the trend nowadays, where people will show up from award shows at fast food joints. Like Patton Oswalt went to Arby's when he won an Emmy for one of his specials. Weird Al won an Emmy this year, and he went to In-N-Out Burger. And I just think it's kind of cool that you could show up to one of these burger joints and Hollywood royalty is going to be there chowing down on good food. And then I didn't know it because I don't really watch Billions, but apparently Paul Giamatti's girlfriend plays his dominatrix on the show.
Oh, okay. Well, hopefully they don't break up.
Kind of odd.
Hopefully they don't break up. So, all right, Mike Reyes from Cinemablend.com on the line. One more thing before we do some time traveling. Disney gave us the new series Echo. 5 episodes.
The dolphin?
What's that?
The dolphin?
Yes.
I'm kidding. That's an old Sega game, folks. I know full well what Echo is, and this actually looks interesting.
The first episode, like, it was good, but it was kind of confusing because I'm trying to remember Echo from, she showed up during the Hawkeye series.
Yeah.
And I had forgotten that, and then I was like, oh yeah, she was in that, and then I was like, oh yeah, she's got connections to Wilson Fisk, who, you know, who plays Wilson Fisk?
Vincent D'Onofrio.
Yeah, he's in it doing stuff. You had Daredevil randomly show up, and then I was like, oh shit, it's a flashback. So it's like, is he going to be in this or no or what? And then you're like, what's your special power here?
Well, I think that's why they decided to drop the whole season in one go.
So
like you can binge all 5 episodes currently on Disney Plus and Hulu.
So we've only watched the first episode as of right now, which is Wednesday the 10th, and I'm fine going back. It wasn't like Secret Invasion or anything like that. Like I actually kind of want to go back and see what happens, but I would be lying if I didn't say I'm a tiny bit confused on what's going on and what's supposed to be important here.
Yeah. And again, I think that's probably why they dropped it all at once, because of the fact that people can watch it all as one big story, and maybe it's just more of a slow burn versus other series where it may be more compartmentalized, so it's easier to break it into like weekly installments.
Yeah, so I'm looking forward to it. So Disney may have done something. They'll screw it up. I have no faith in it, let's be honest. So
We'll see.
So I don't know. We'll see what's going on. All right, that'll do it for us as of now. We'll be back with a couple movie reviews, maybe 1, maybe 3. Who knows? We'll see what happens with time travel. That's coming up. Mike Reyes from Cinemablend.com, everybody.
And here we go, folks.
And here we crash, folks. It's B-sox, and long story short, due to the weather and this huge blizzard that rolled through the Midwest, I was not able to make it to work, and I kind of pre-recorded this in thinking I may not be able to make it in to be able to talk to Mike Reyes again. So we apologize for that. Next week we'll be back, and we'll get you the final reviews of Mean Girls and The Beekeeper and all of that. Otherwise, if you are in the Midwest, stay safe out there. Be kind, and we'll talk to you next time. Bye.